Good morning, my dear kids. In today's class, in the chapter kinematics, we are going to start the topic uniform accelerated motion. Most probably, we'll try to cover the theoretical part of today's one. In coming classes, we'll go for the numerical one. Okay, let me take you to the screen. So as in the previous classes, we had a discussion on the uniform velocity motion. What happens if the velocity of a particle changes? So in general, so if you look at the velocity, what actually the velocity? It will contain both speed as well as direction. The velocity possesses both speed as well as the direction, that one. Suppose that when you write it like this, V bar equal to 10 I cap meter per second. What this 10? 10 is a speed. I cap is a direction. Or I'll write it like this. So this will indicate the speed. This will indicate the direction. So we do indicate no the particular object is moving, so that object, let me take a bike here, small some diagram I brought it, so that will be easy for you to understand. Okay, look at this particular bike. It is moving along. So I'll say that it is moving with a speed 10 meter per second. In what direction? Along x-axis. So what is the speed of this bike? You are going to write 10 I cap meter per second. If the bike is moving in xy plane, if the bike is moving in xy plane, the same thing, I think I can, yeah. Somewhere it's moving in xy plane. In that case, so we do represent the speed, this x-axis, this y-axis. It is making an angle, say theta equal to 30 degrees. So what is the speed of the bike? Who will indicate that speed? The speedometer. So look at now, it is moving in xy plane. In this case, what is the velocity? Velocity of the bike will be 10 cos 30 degrees, I cap, 10 sin 30 degree, j cap. So this will become 10 root 3 by 2 I cap, 10 by 2 j cap. So this will become 5 root 3 I cap, 5 j cap. Okay, this is the velocity. What about the direction? It is making an answer. So I want the direction. So there's a unit vector, n cap. Okay, let's define that unit vector. So how to bring n cap? N cap is given by v bar by v. V bar already we know. What about magnitude? Magnitude we are going to calculate separately. This should be equal to, I think 10 only. You see this 5 root 3 whole square plus 5 square. 25 into 3, 75 plus 25 will be 10. So this n cap will become root 3 by 2 I cap plus 1 by 2 j cap. So what is this? This will be direction. So like this, what happened? We can express the velocity. So now, first case, what was the velocity of the bike? V equal to, we'll write it. Second case, so I'll write V1, V2, so that will be easier for you. Okay, what is the velocity of the this one? So here, how do you write in vector form? In the vector form, let me change all the symbols proportionally. Yeah. Now in the vector form, how do you write? V2 bar should be equal to, what is the speed? Speed is 10 meter per second. This is speed. And the direction is n cap. Both are same. Getting this one? So this part will indicate speed. This will indicate the direction. If it is moving along a straight line, okay, it's very simple. If it is moving in a plane, then we do express the velocity of the bike by this one. So in general, what happened, the velocity of a bike, what all it will have, magnitude as well as direction. The magnitude is nothing but the speed. So what is the speed? How you define? Magnitude of velocity. Okay, now what we had the discussion in previous class, uniform velocity motion, both the magnitude as well as direction remains same. There's a meaning of the uniform velocity. Okay, now I think when you are moving on a bike, it do happens, no? Let's take the I'll keep it this one ready-made. Okay, now okay, don't look at this. Try to look at this one. Okay, this person is there. So what you'll do, if he's in RE, if he increases speed, so here it's going to increase the speed like this, no? I think, okay, this color will be visible. So if he rotates his arm like this, I think it should be in this direction. If he twists his arm like this, then what happened to the speed of the bike will start increasing. Then if it puts a brake, the left hand will be brake, no? So there if you put a brake, the speed will decrease. So here I'm showing this rotation of arm. Okay, this particular knob, this is called like an accelerator. So what is the accelerator? Which will increase the speed. I think everyone knows bike. Most of you might have ridden, ridden the bike here. The right hand handle in the right hand side, the handle, that is called like an accelerator. What it does, we can vary the speed. So accelerator. So with this, what we can do, we can vary speed of a bike. I'm going to discuss the acceleration. Okay, this word acceleration will be very important. So using accelerator weapon, you can vary the speed of a bike. If you want to increase, you should rotate this in clockwise like this. You twist your arm. Speed will increase. You want to decrease speed, put in clockwise. So here, if you rotate your right hand, this arm, there will be knob will be there here. The handle will be there. That if you rotate, no, the speed will increase. If you're rotating clockwise, then speed is going to decrease here. So it's very simple. I think everyone knows bike. I just wanted to explain through the bike. Okay, let's get into the discussion now. Now, if a speed of a bike increases, now it's moving with a speed of how much? Let's take the next discussion. So he will rotate his arm. Because of that, now he is moving with speed 10 meter or select 10 kilometer per hour. Now again, further he will rotate his arm. Its speed is 30 kilometer per hour or say 20 kilometer per hour. Now it has become 30 kilometer per hour. So shall I say he is accelerating because increasing speed. How do we accelerate? He's going to twist his arm. This one, here, this one. If he rotates counterclockwise, speed will increase. Then you can say it's side to be accelerating. Now what I can say, as the speed of the bike increases, I can say that the bike is undergoing acceleration. So this increasing speed is called as acceleration. So when speed of a body when the speed of a body increases, the body is said to be accelerating. Okay, now similarly, when a speed of a body when a speed of a body decreases, the body is said to be decelerating. Okay, what is the example for acceleration? This above example for deceleration. Now, how to decelerate? By decreasing the acceleration. So the same bike, let me take it here. Just I wanted to give example so that students will understand. It's a very general thing which you can really experience in your day-to-day life. So here he was moving with a speed, say like a V1 50 km/h. Then you'll put a brake. Then it will become 30 km/h. Then it will become say like a 15 km or say 20 km/h. Then you can say that is speed of the body is decreasing. So it's said to be deceleration. Okay, agree this. So these are the two diagrams for acceleration, and deceleration is what I'm showing it. No, very simple. Now you can say the scooter, shall I say, is decelerating. In the above diagram, the first diagram, what is the state of scooter? The scooter, like there it is accelerating. Speed is increasing, it's said to be accelerating. Speed decreasing is said to be decelerating or undergoing retardation. It's said to be decelerating or undergoing retardation, either way. Or undergoing retardation. So like this, the word acceleration is brought into the picture. Okay, first we'll define the average acceleration. I need this. Okay, first we'll define the average acceleration. Average acceleration, how we define this as like a change in velocity by time taken. So this will become A average is equal to delta V bar by delta T. Change in velocity is telling altogether. Okay, this you can write it as V2 bar minus V1 bar by delta T. A body is said to have, it's like how you define average acceleration, change in velocity by time taken. So there's a basic definition of the average acceleration. It is telling change in velocity. So velocity is having two quantities, no? It's having the speed as well as direction. So which quantity, due to which quantity changes the body is said to be acceleration? Any one or both. So first example, we take it. A body is said to be accelerated. A body is said to be accelerated. First case, if speed changes. So what do you mean by speed changes? So there's an example, I'll give it. Okay, look at the speed of the body. It is moving with 40 km/h or say like 20 km/h. Now it is moving with 30 km/h. So shall we say that it is accelerating? Now in what action that acceleration I should represent? V2 minus V1, and it will take, let's say that it will take a time of say like a 0.1 hour. In what interval of time the speed changes by from 30 to this one? So then can we show that average acceleration? It will be in this direction. And why it should be directed? because V2 minus V1 change final minus initial. So how to calculate that one? A average is equal to V2 bar is how much? 30 I cap kilometer per hour. This will be 20 kilometer, 20 I cap kilometer per hour by what is the time? 0.1 hour. So 30 minus 10, 10, this will become how much acceleration? 100 kilometer per hour square. If you want to convert in meter per second square, convert it. So usually what is the typical unit for acceleration will be meter per second square. Or we do write like this. So I'm expressing in terms of kilometer, or if you want, you can convert it. Or instead of 20 kilometer, no, you write 20 kilometer per second. It will be much easier for you. This hours are I'm finding difficult. Okay, change this. This will be, it's left to you. And let it take, say, like around 10 seconds. Nowadays, we do have such a bikes, no, where you can change speed instantaneously. So this will become now kilometer. I'll take it out. I'm showing either of things. 10. So this should be equal to how much here? 1 meter per second square. This will be the acceleration. What about the direction? 1 I cap meter per second square. Look at the direction of average acceleration will be in the direction of increasing speed. Why it will be in the direction of increasing speed? According to the definition, V2 is greater than V1. So therefore, average acceleration will be in the direction of this one. So if a speed of a body increases, in what direction the acceleration be directed? In the direction of increasing speed. So that's why the acceleration is said to be directed towards right. Got it now? Now there's about first thing. Later on, I'll come in detail. If speed changes. Next, third thing, if direction changes. If only speed changes, we'll write it. If only direction changes. How come if there's a change in direction, there can be this one. So the bike initially it was moving along x-axis, we'll say it. Then afterwards, so there's a road here. I think I'm able to show this much like this rough diagram. So we have a road. He was moving along a positive x-axis. Then afterwards, he'll change his direction. This is x-axis. This will be y-axis. He was moving with a speed, say v. So what is that v? So let it be 10 meters per second. So what is the time he will take to change the direction of motion? Let it be 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds, he'll take a turn. Let's see that how that acceleration will be directed. So what is our basic definition? So this will be V1. This will be V2. V1 equal to V2 equal to how much? It is equal to 10 meters per second. Only direction of motion changed. It was moving along positive x-axis. Then you'll take a turn. The bike will start moving like this. The bike will start moving like this. So what is the like a speed? The speed of the bike remains same. Only the direction changes. So strictly I'll write it. Speed of the bike remains same. Only direction changes. Okay, due to this, will there be any acceleration? Yes, there is an acceleration. So let me stick on to that one. Average acceleration equal to V2 bar minus V1 bar by delta T. What is V2 bar? V2 J, V J cap or V2 J cap timing, let me write. minus of this will be V1 I cap delta T. So what is V2? 10 J cap minus 10 I cap. Delta T is how much? 2 seconds. So this will become minus 5 I cap what direction it will be directed? Minus 5 I cap plus 5 J cap. The average acceleration, it will be directed here. So therefore here, that particular direction I'm going to indicate like this. Is said to have now acceleration in this direction. The second case we are discussing, please do notice. First case in what direction average acceleration? It was in the direction of motion. No, not in the direction of motion. So what is this acceleration? This acceleration is due to change in direction of motion and it will be directed in this way. What is the magnitude of acceleration? How to calculate? Minus 5 I square plus 5 J cap whole square. So this should be equal to 25 plus 25, 5 root 2. And what about the direction? The direction will be, it will making an angle 45 degrees. Okay, now why this acceleration is due to change in direction of motion. So a body can get accelerated due to change in speed or due to change in direction of motion. If both take place, as speed as well as the direction changes, the body is said to be having acceleration. That later on we are going to discuss in the curvilinear motion. So third case, I will not give any formulas here because this will come in curvilinear motion. If speed and direction both changes, a body is said to be accelerated. I think a body is said to be accelerated if only speed changes, if only direction changes, if speed and direction both changes. So in this case, what is the average acceleration? We do write V2 bar minus V1 bar by delta T. V2 not equal to V1 in this case. So altogether, how to produce acceleration? Either by changing the speed or changing the direction, or by varying the speed only, or by varying the direction only, or by varying both direction as well as speed. So like this, what happen? We can define that acceleration. So how do you define average acceleration? Change in velocity by time taken. Okay, this. So this is the basic idea. This one. Okay, I think this is something very important. Just I brought some diagrams so that it will be very easy for you. Where did it go? Okay, I made correction. A body is said to be accelerated if only speed changes, if only direction changes, if speed and direction both changes. Okay, there's a basic introduction of the direction. Okay, now this is about average acceleration. Okay, let's define next quantity called as instantaneous acceleration. Let me go for full screen. Yeah. Look at now. So what is the definition? It will be like it. Instantaneous acceleration is defined as instantaneous rate of change of velocity. So A instantaneous bar should be equal to dv bar by dt. In general, whenever I say acceleration, it will be instantaneous acceleration only. Average acceleration was change in velocity by time taken. This is instantaneous acceleration. Rate of change of velocity, that one. Here again, the change in velocity means it can be change in only magnitude or only change in the direction or both. The rate of change of velocity is what we'll call instantaneous acceleration. At that instant, what is the acceleration? Okay, now we'll define the next quantity called as uniform accelerated motion. Uniform accelerated motion. So what do you mean by uniform accelerated motion? If acceleration of a body, like uniform velocity motion, if the velocity of a body remains constant during motion, it's said to be uniform velocity. Similarly, if an acceleration of body remains constant during motion, it's said to be uniform accelerated motion. So we'll define like this. If an acceleration of a body remains constant during motion, it is said to describe uniform accelerated motion. The acceleration must remain constant during motion. Then the body is said to be uniform accelerated motion. So how to express that uniform accelerated motion? So I do take help of the graphs. Okay, here. So the experimental curve. If a body describes equal displacement in equal intervals of time, it is said to describe an uniform accelerated motion. This will not be there. I have to extend this black curve further. Straight line. Okay, I do have. So this is the time axis. This is the velocity axis. And this is time. T is in seconds. This is right time. Okay, let this be 2 seconds. 4, 6, 8. And let the speed of the particle, let it increase of this order, 30, 40. Now I can say that for every 2 seconds, the velocity will increase by 10 meters per second. So what do you mean by uniform accelerated motion? If a body produces equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time, it is said to be uniform accelerated. There's one more definition what will bring it. If a body produces equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time, it is said to be uniform accelerated motion. The body is said to describe uniform accelerated motion. I think you can see the particular equal intervals. So what are the equal intervals? You can see this. In first, like 2 seconds, the velocity will increase from 0 to 10. In next 2 seconds, again 10 to 20. So calculate this. Let's calculate this acceleration. Not average, it's instantaneous only. Change in velocity by time taken. So 20 minus 10 by 2 minus 0. 10 by 2. 5 meters per second. You calculate at any interval of time, the acceleration remains constant. So for a uniform accelerated motion, so what we can write it as A instantaneous must be equal to A average. Already we have discussed for uniform velocity motion, the similar idea we can express here, but we are more bothered about instantaneous acceleration only. So if the acceleration of your body remains constant, it is said to describe uniform accelerated motion. So what is a very important part in uniform accelerated motion? If a body produces equal change in velocity, whether velocity increasing or decreasing, but change in velocity should be equal in equal intervals of time, then said to be uniform accelerated motion. Okay, there's one basic idea of uniform accelerated motion. Okay, now in uniform accelerated, we'll see that how that velocity, acceleration, times are related. So we are going to derive now equations of motion. Means an equations which will describe the motion entirely. Now let's take help of this first one. So we know acceleration is equal to dv by dt. So this I'll rearrange a dt equal to dv or dv equal to a dt. At t equal to 0, as a is a constant, so I'll take outside. So at t equals 0, what is the initial velocity of body u? At any instant of time, let v be the velocity. This is t. So integral of dv will become v, upper limit v and lower limit u. A, this will be t 0 to t. So upper limit minus lower limit. Here I think we are going to put like upper limit minus lower limit. A into this will be t minus 0. So v minus uat. Okay, I think rather than every time integrating, there's a one generalized formula. The first formula for what is this formula? It will give us relationship between initial velocity, acceleration. Here A means here uniform accelerated motion, instantaneous acceleration here. What is t? T is the velocity, the time at which velocity of the particle is v. V is the velocity of the particle at time t. U is initial velocity. So we define these things. So what is u? Initial velocity. What is v? Or velocity of a body at time t. So what is the meaning of this? I'll bring that scooter. Oh, where is the scooter? It's here. Yeah. See, why I'm bringing this scooter so that students will understand what they are learning. So most of students, they think that particle books, in the books, it will be given particles. So students will think that, okay, something we should imagine. Okay, now we are in 21st century. We do have several objects around us. Now this is the person is moving on the road. At t equals 0, what was the velocity of him? At t equal to 0. After some time t, what is the velocity of this scooter? Let it be t. Let it be v. What is the time? This is the interval of time. Able to understand? So in that interval of time, some distance also covered. So what is the distance covered? Will be s. So we will try to get a relationship for this also. Okay, agreed. This one. So at time t equals 0, the particular object is here. After some time t, it will cover some distance. And in what direction the acceleration is said to be in this direction. Definitely the velocity v is greater than u. You can see it's describing accelerated motion. Okay, I'm interested now the distance. So the same equation, I'm going to take help of this one. V equal to u plus at. What is v? ds by dt. This ds u dt plus at dt. Then this will be 0 to s, 0 to t, 0 to t. So at t equals 0, what was the position of particle? It was here at origin. So s will become equal to 0. Are you seeing this? The distance covered is s, no? So this will be s. At time t, it will cover a display, it will have a displacement of s, that one. So this will become S0 to S U T So this will be S minus 0 U T minus 0 A by 2 T square minus 0 square. Okay, this is the equation which will give us the relationship between displacement displacement of a body in time t. Fine. Okay, the last one more equation we will search. So how this V, U, how this final velocity V, initial velocity U, acceleration S, they are related. So let's try to get one more relationship. So this acceleration, what we have, I can also write it as A equal to dV by dt. This I'll rearrange. So what is ds by dt? ds by dt is what? The speed, no? So this will rearrange. Okay, this is the limit. As acceleration is constant, I'll take also the limit 0 to S uv. So when the body is at origin, when S equal to 0, this point will be S equal to 0. This point will be S equal to S. So when body is at origin, what is the speed of the body? Initial velocity u. When the body is at a distance S, what is the speed of the body? Let it be v. So this will become A okay, this will become 2as v square minus u square. So the final equation is v square minus u square equal to 2as. There's a third equation which will give us relationship between the initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, and displacement. What about this? This will give us relation between the initial velocity, time, acceleration, and displacement. Equation 1, that will give the relation between the final velocity, initial velocity, acceleration, and time. Every time, instead of integrating like this, we are going to take help of this one. So all these equations are valid only when they're valid only when acceleration is constant. So these are called as equations of motion. 1, 2, 3 are called as equations. 1, 2, or 3 are called as like equations of motion. So they are valid. So the equations of motion are valid only when acceleration remains constant. Okay, there's a strict condition because these equations are derived only when that acceleration remains constant. You can see that we brought that A outside integration. If acceleration constant only, then only we end up the equation of this kind. This is for accelerated motion. What happens if there's a retardation? I think the same equations, you need not to bother much big. Okay, let me, for retarding motion also, the equations will be same. Let me, okay, there's a t equals 0, the body is here. It will undergo retardation. Retardation means the v will be less than u. In that case, the equation will be u minus ct. S equal to ut minus at square. V is less than u. Speed of a scooter decreases. Then it is said to be undergoing retardation. Then v square where this A is called as now retardation or deceleration. Either way you can call it. A is called as retardation or deceleration. So for retarding motion, the same equations of motion, the acceleration you have to put it negative. If the speed increases, then acceleration should be positive. For retardation, how the acceleration will be directed? So if you look at this, it will be directed opposite to the motion, the retardation. So two types of uniform accelerated motion we can have, where uniform accelerated motion, uniform retarding motion. So we have to just describe what actually happens in these two motions. Okay, I think that till now the theoretical ideas is what I have brought it. Okay, now next will be the distance covered in nth second formula, the derivation of formula, distance covered in nth second. What do you mean by that? Nth second. Let me explain clearly. So this is the road we have. This person, he will start his journey with an initial velocity u at s equal to 0. This is the origin. Then after n seconds, he'll be here. After n minus 1 second, it'll be a different position. So here will indicate. So this will be the distance covered in for n seconds. Okay, now we'll take the distance covered by this person for n minus 1 second. So what is the time? This will be n seconds. T equal to n, I'll write it. This t will be n minus 1 second. So this is a distance covered for nth second. Sn will write it. This will indicate symbol Sn, Sn minus 1, or Sn dash will write it. For n seconds, so what is the formula for n seconds? Distance covered S is equal to un plus an square. This is what is Sn dash? Oh, this I'll write it. Distance covered for n seconds. Similarly, distance covered for n minus 1 seconds. What is Sn? Distance covered in nth second. I'll give one example so they'll be easy for you. That this you may find now very difficult. I'll give one example. Distance covered in n seconds. So that is what Sn. So what it should be equal to Sn dash minus Sn1 minus S dash n minus 1. So let's take the difference of these two. Sn dash is equal to un plus an square by 2 minus of u n minus 1. So this will be Sn is equal to un plus an square by 2 minus un plus u minus a by 2. Let me expand that, then I'll introduce the bracket. I'll open the bracket. Let me expand this. This will be n square plus 1 minus 2n. So this will be minus un plus u minus an square by 2 minus 1. This will be plus an by 2. Whole divided by 2 is there, no? So after expanding the bracket, okay, here I think I'm putting minus un minus of minus plus u an square by 2 minus an square by 2 will come a by 2 multiplied with minus, so minus a by 2. Okay, this should be the a by 2. No? Yeah. Okay, this un and un will get cancelled out. Similarly, an square by 2, an square by 2. These two will cancel out. So what will be left over? This will be left over will be u plus a by 2 n minus 1. Okay, this sorry. This will become only an minus of plus an. So this will become a n minus 1 by 2. So there's a formula for distance covered in nth second. What is the use of this? What is the meaning of this, sir? We are not understanding, sir. You are saying distance covered in nth second. What is the meaning? What we should understand here? So let's take one small example. It'll be much easier for you. Let initial velocity of the object, let the initial velocity of object be 10 meter per second, or select it. Yeah, 10 meter per second. Acceleration 2 meter per second square. At t equal to 10 seconds, or select a 5 seconds. T equal to 4 seconds. We'll calculate what is the distance covered. So this is about the data. I'll write it. Yeah. Initial velocity 2. So at 2 instants of time, we'll take this one. T equal to 5 seconds, T equal to 4 seconds. I'm just going to describe everything. So we do have this a road. I'll come to this. Okay, let's do one thing. At t equals 0, there's a time in seconds, velocity of the object, and the position of the object. So what is the formula we are going to use? S equal to ut plus at square. I'm just trying to explain what do you mean by distance covered in n second. So the formula now it will end up S equal to what is value of u 10t plus a is 2 by 2 t square. So 10t plus t square. Agreed? The acceleration is 2, no? 2 divided by 2 will be 1. So t square. Okay, put t equal to 0. What is the initial velocity? What is the velocity of the object? 10. What is the position of object? Initially, let it be at origin. At t equals 0, scooter is at origin. In the end, I'll bring the diagrams. Huh? Now let me first get the data. Now, at t equal to 1 second, what is the velocity of particle will be? What is the formula? V equal to u plus at. U is how much? 10 to t. Put t equal to 1, it will become 12 meter per second. What is the position of particle? Put t equal to 1. So this will be S1 is equal to 10 into 1 plus 1 square. So I think this will be 11 meters. Put t equal to 2. So this will be 10 plus 14 it will become. So what about the next position? S2 is equal to 10 into 2 plus 24 meter. It will be at 24 meter. 3, it will be 16. (36 meter). 4, it will be 4 will be u plus 18. Okay, S4 will be 10 into 4 plus, oh, some data went wrong, no? 2 into 10 into 2, this will be T square, 2 square. Okay, there's no problem with this. This will be 10 into 3, 3 square. 30 plus 9, 39. Now I'm making changes. 10 into 4, 4 square. This equation we should apply. I think some of you are getting confusion with this, and I'll move it separately. Based on this, here in this equation, substitute value of k in tablet. So this will become 40 plus 16, 56 meter. S5 will be 10 into 5 plus 5 square, 50 plus 25, 75 meter. Oh, okay, I have data. So 56 meter. This will be 2 into 5. This will be 20, 75 meter. What is the meaning of all this? Because I just wanted to give the idea of the distance covered in nth second. The distance covered in nth second, what meant that has to be clearly explained. So therefore, I'm gathering the data at various instants of time. It will be here. Okay, let's take help of the diagram. Okay, now I think now you clearly understand what actually I wanted to explain you. This point is what? S equal to 0. 75 meter is there, no? Okay, we'll divide this interval into 20, 20, 40, 60. Okay, 20, 40, 60. This is 80. At various instants of time, we'll locate where the scooter will be. And proportion will indicate the time also. T equal to 0, T equal to 1 second. So it will be 1 second, it will be at 11 meters. One second. 24 meter, 20, this will be 30, 24. It will be here. This will be 2 seconds. It will be at a distance of 36 meter. I think S3 will be 39. Sorry, some data. 39 it will be here. Next 56, so it will be here. 75, so it will be here. No. Okay, where is our scooter? I would have just took particle. Many students find very difficult. The moment I say particles are, we are not understanding. Okay, scooter is here. Then he will be here. Last one. Wait. Yeah. Now take help of this one. Okay, now you see that first 1 second, how much of distance he will move? He will move 11 meters. Next, how much of distance he will move? 24. There's a distance covered. You see the distance covered is keep on increasing. The length of arrow is keep on increasing. I didn't draw up to the scale. Okay, but still you can see this. Okay, we are bothered about. So first it will cover how much? 11 meter. In 1 second. Next second, it will cover 13 meter. 24 minus 11, you see. 39 minus 24 will be 15 meter. 56 minus 39 will be 17 meter. Next, 75 minus 56 will be 19 meter. Able to understand? In the first 1 second, it will cover 11 meter. Next 1 second, 13 meter. Next 1 second, 50 meter. The distance covered in equal intervals of time is keep on increasing. What is the duration of time? 1 second, you can see. Other side, let me indicate the duration of times. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Okay, what do you mean by the distance covered in nth second? Because our main purpose was to study the distance covered in nth second. For 4 seconds, how much of distance it will move? For 4 seconds, what the distance it will move? For 4 seconds, what is the distance it will move? S4 will write it. For 5 seconds, this will be S5. So how to, what is S4? Distance covered for 4 seconds, distance covered for 5 seconds. No, I'll ask you distance covered in 5th second. What do you mean 5th second? You have to call like this. Say there's what here. This call like a first second, second second, third second. I'll remove this 20. Some of you are getting confusion, sir. Like a okay, no. I think things are very clear. Okay, no. Distance covered in first second, how much? 11 meter. Distance covered in second second, 13 meter. Distance covered in third second, 50 meter. Distance covered in next year, like a year center. Distance covered in next second, 17. So this is a distance covered in nth second or in the 5th second. Instead of writing this, you can call this the first second, second second, third second, 4th second, 5th second. Okay, let's do one thing. Distance covered in 5th second I want. So what you should do? Distance covered for 5 seconds minus distance covered for 4 seconds. I think that was the formula. So let me rewrite. Distance covered in 5th second. How much it is? We know it is 19 meter. This is also equal to what? Distance covered in 5th second. You can also write it as distance covered in 5 seconds minus the difference, the distance covered in 4 seconds. That will become distance covered in 5th second. There's an interpretation. So let's see that. S5, S5th, I'll write it. Distance covered in 5th second. How much distance covered for 4 seconds we have here? 56. Distance covered in 5 seconds, 75. Same thing, no? So instead of doing so much, we have directly a formula. What is the formula? Sn equal to un plus this one. U is how much? 10. Acceleration 2. So what is the formula? U plus U plus A into n minus 1 by 2. Let's see what will get it. 10 plus 2. So this will be 5 to ja 10, 9 by 2, 19 meter. So there's a difference between distance covered for 50 seconds, distance covered in 5 seconds. So this should be S5 minus S4. I'll write one more step. 75 minus 56. So finally, how much? 19 meter. Now tell me, like if I ask you such a question, you have to really work out so much, no? Here. So instead, this formula will help you a lot. Distance covered in 50 seconds, directly substitute that formula. Or else, what you should do? You should find out distance covered for 5 seconds, distance covered for 4 seconds. The difference of that will be the distance covered in 50 seconds. So distance covered for 5 seconds, distance covered for 50 seconds. It's different. So this is the first second it is called as. I will write this, may not be, this is called like a first second. Second second. This is called like a third second. Fourth second. This is called like a fifth second. Agreed here? So like this, what happened? We have this particular formula. Distance covered for nth second is also a very good formula, which will help us a lot. Now, what is the type of motion? It's an accelerated motion. How the acceleration is directed? The acceleration is directed. Let me indicate that acceleration, because that is very important. The speed of the body is continuously increasing, no? So it's said to be describing the accelerated motion. Okay, everyone, I think understood the distance covered in nth second meaning means that formula is given in book. Okay, it is going to help us a lot. Okay, let's further. We'll discuss the uniform accelerated motion. I think the same diagram is what I'll take help of it. Okay, well, next one, uniform accelerated motion. So we have to just describe all the quantities, how that uniform accelerated motion, what all will happen. So let me directly take example so that will be easier. So initial velocity 10 meter per second, acceleration 10 meter per second square. Initially at t equals 0, body is at origin. Then we'll calculate at various instants of time what will be the velocity and what will be the position. What are the formulas I'm going to use? V equal to u plus at. So what is value of u? U is 10, a is 10, this is t. Similarly, s equal to ut plus of at square. This will be u is 10 t plus 10 by 2 t square. For all calculation purpose, and now we are going to study in detail what do you mean by accelerated motion. Uniform accelerated motion means what actually means. Okay, using these particular formulas, we are going to get the positions. Then from the position, we'll plot a graph, we'll study the motion, physical motion, how do it occur. So at t equals 0, it was at origin. What is the initial velocity of the object? The initial velocity of the object is 10. So let's enter all the data here. T equals 0, At t equals 0, the initial velocity of particle is 10 and it was at origin. At t equal to 1 second, it will be 20. And here how much it will be? 10 into 1. S1, let me calculate. 15 meter. T equal to 2, so this will be 30. S2 equal to 10 into 2 plus 5 into 2 square. So 20 plus 20, 40 meter. Distance covered is what we are checking. So 3 equal to, this will be 40. So now S3 will be 30 plus 5 into 15. This will be 75, 105 meter. Am I right? I think I'm in 75. Oh, yeah, 105. All these calculations correct. 420. First it will cover 15, next 25, 75. No, it should be. 4, it will be 50. S4 will be 10 into 4, 5 into 4 square. I think let me calculate all these things. If somebody helped, it would have been nice. Okay, anyway, let me try. 16 into 4, 16 into 5, 80. 120 meter. I think that 5, 3, 5. This 3 will be 9. No? 75 it should be. S5 will take it. $175 meter. One more last. 10 into 6. 60 plus 30, 5, 3, 15, 150. 36, no? So 36 into 5, 180. 180 plus 60. 240. Okay, this much of data will be sufficient. And we're like, this will be 5 position of this 120. For 5, it will be 175. For 6, it will be 240. $75. This I made change. S3 will be 75. 15, 75. Let me highlight. I'm 15, 75. 15, 40, 75, 120, 175, 240. Position of particle at various instants of time. Okay, we have to, again the same scooter, it is accelerating, the speed is increasing. Okay, I don't have time to draw the scooter. We will shift the data. All the calculations, what all we did is this one. Okay, there's a S equal to 0, it will be here. T equal, the same thing earlier what I did. Once again, I'm bringing so that you'll initial velocity, the scooter will start with initial velocity. Let me rearrange. Let me rearrange things. Oh, I think diagram. So now, so what we do is, I think I'm taking more time. Okay, just give me some time. I'll give a correct diagram. So the scooter is, yeah, on the road. Let's get into again the same set of the data, which at t equal to 0, it will be here, and s equal to 0. After 1 second, it will be at a distance of how much? It will be at a distance of 15 meters. 2 seconds, it will be at a distance of 40 meters. I should increase the distance. I don't have space. And then let me do like this. Yeah. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a lot of space. I think, yeah. One more. The distance between them will keep on increase here. I think I can take only till 5. That this will delete it. Not possible. Yeah, we can show things clearly. T equal to 1 second, it will be at a distance of 15 meters. T equal to 2 seconds, it will be at a distance of 40 meters. T equal to 3 seconds, it is a distance of 75 meters. T equal to 4 seconds, it is at a distance of 120 meters. T equal to 5 seconds, it is a distance of 175 meters. Whatever the distance covered in equal intervals of time, there's a main thing which I wanted to discuss here. Try to see that pink color arrows, the length of pink color arrows, it is increasing. Clearly, I'm showing in this situation. First 1 second, it will cover 15 meters. I'll make it plain so that you can see things clearly. Okay, next, how much it will cover? 25 meters. Sorry, 15, okay, 25. Next again, between 3 and 2 seconds, it will cover 35, 45, 55 meters. I'll erase this data so that will not be under confusion. In what is the direction of acceleration? In what direction there's acceleration? The acceleration is in this direction. So in accelerated motion, what will happen to distance covered in equal intervals of time? Equal intervals. So there's a 1 second. So what are the intervals of time will be 1 second. So first you see this, the distance covered in first 1 second, 50 minutes. In the next second, it's covered 25. Next second, it covered 35. Next second, it covered 45. So in accelerated motion, what will happen to distance covered in equal intervals of time will keep on increase. I think there are some very important things which I'm going to conclude based on uniform accelerated motion. Distance covered, shall we put like this? Distance covered will increase in equal displacements. Means for equal intervals of time, the distance covered will increase. Okay, you can see this data here, this one. First 1 second, 50 meter, next 1 second, 25, next 1 second, 35, next 1 second. So shall we put like this? Distance covered increases in equal intervals of time. There's the one statement. Then equal change in velocity produce in equal intervals of time. Okay, that already you can see that in 1 second, it will change from 10 to 20. Next second, 20 to 30. So equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time. But what point to distance covered will keep on increase. The difference of these two will keep on increase, you see. So shall we conclude some points here related to this? Just I wanted to give a description of this much only here. Graphically, we can show these things clearly here now. I'll show graphically. This is a curve, the experimental curve. So what was our equation? S is equal to 10t plus 5t square. If I plot that curve, somewhere rough it is. Equal intervals of time, you take it. I'll try my, okay, this one. The time intervals should be equal. Anywhere you can take it. You can see, no, the other color lines, I'll show it. You look at this graph now. Pink color lines, the gap between pink color lines, you see it. I think it is increasing, no? The way I'm showing it. So this will be delta T. T is in seconds and this S is in position. There's a position. Now look at this. This I'll indicate by delta S1, delta S2, delta S3. What happened? Delta S3, here it is delta S3 greater than delta S2 greater than delta S1. So what is the conclusion I can make it? Distance covered in equal intervals of time will increase with the time. Distance covered increases in equal intervals of time. In accelerated motion, distance covered increases, distance covered increases in equal intervals of time. There's the one first point. Equal change in velocity is produced in equal intervals of time. I think that already we have discussed. Equal change in velocity is produced in equal intervals of time. This is the one thing. Okay, this is about the graph. Can we put it graph in either way or only this condition? So now can we put it equal displacements? We'll see what will happen. The same graph. Let me draw the fresh one. The same S equal to T square, so that equation is what plotted here. Now we'll take the equal displacements. So the pink color lines will be of equal displacements. I'm trying my level best to give a suitable graph. The spacing between the lines, pair of lines will be same. The equal intervals of time is what I picked up. Okay, let's see what will happen to this. Are you noticing anything very good difference? So the delta S is same. What about delta T1? This is going to be different. Delta T1, delta T2, delta T3. Look at that interval. This is T is in seconds. This is S is in meter. This is a position. This is all for uniform accelerated motion. Everything I'm discussing. So look at the graph. What is S equal to 10T? For accelerated motion, it is all. So what is the condition we can put it here? Time interval for successive equal displacement decreases. Time interval. So what is the data? We can write it one more. Time interval for successive equal displacements decreases. So for first, like it's having displacement, it moves from say like a 0 to 5 meter, next again 5 to 10 meter, then again 10 to 15. What about time taken? Will keep on decrease here. Time interval for successive equal displacement decreases. There's a one thing. Okay, let's talk about the what will happen to the average velocity. Average velocity. Anything can we conclude about the average velocity? If I calculate average velocity here, so what you can write, average velocity will keep on increase, no? In accelerated motion, average velocity for equal intervals of time. So delta S1 will be greater than delta S2. So let me write one more here. One more data, looking at this. V average 1, delta S1 by delta T. V average 2, delta S2 by delta T. V average 3, delta S3 by delta 3. We know delta S1 so V average 3 greater than V average 2 greater than V average 1. For equal intervals of time, what will happen to average velocity will keep on increase. So what is the equation? We can write it here. Average velocity taken over equal intervals of time will increase. Average velocity taken over an equal intervals of time increases during accelerated motion. One more, very, very, very important. I think I have brought very good equations from here only. You can see that. Or else you can take help of this also. So for all this is very important. Accelerated motion distance covered increases in equal interval. In first second, it will cover some distance. This is very important. You see, in first second, 15 meter. Next second, it will cover more. In the next second, it will cover more. 0 to 1 second, it will move 15 meter. Then 1 second to 2 second, it will move 25 meter. 2 seconds to 3 seconds, it will move 35 meters. 3 seconds to 4 seconds, it will move 45 meters. This is what happens in uniform accelerated motion. That we are showing graphically. This interpretation done graphically. Okay, after this, we'll take the next uniform retarding motion. The last one more theoretical topic. Uniform retarding motion. So what is the data we'll assume? We'll assume that initial velocity, let it be 50 meters per second. Acceleration 10 meters per second square. And initially at t equals 0, the object is at origin. Then what are the equations of motion? V equal to u minus ct. So this will be 50 minus 10t. Then s equal to ut minus at square by 2. U is 50. T minus 10 by 2 t square. So 50t minus 5t square. Okay, there's a equation what we have. So for various instants of time, we'll calculate the velocity, then the position of particle. What is the assumption? At t equals 0, the particle is at origin. This is assumption. Okay, let's begin the data. T equal to 0. Initial velocity is how much? 50. Position of particle, it is at origin. T equal to 1 second. It will become 40. You have to substitute here. Put t equal to 1. How much? 50 minus 10 will be 40. From where I'm writing this, how I'm filling up tabular column using this one. Let's take help of this one. Position of particle. This will be little bit difficult. Let me calculate. S1 is equal to 50 into 1 minus 5 into 1 square. 45 meters. Similarly, S2 is equal to 50 into 2 minus 2 square. 50 into 200 minus 5 into 4. 5 4 is 20. 100 minus 20. 80. Let me fill up this velocity one. S3 is equal to position of particle 50 into 3 minus 5 into 3 square. 150 minus 995 45. 45, this will become 105 meters. $200, 40, 16, 16, 5, I think 80, it will be 120 meters. $250 minus 125. Okay, these are some data what we have. The position of particle at 3 will be 105, 120, 125. Okay, let's use this data to study the motion. We have to use this data to study the motion. Again, the same. S equal to t equal to 0, S will be 0. In first 1 second, it will move 45 meters. Next 2 seconds, it will be at 80 meter. Three seconds, 105. 4 seconds, 120 meter. 5 seconds, 125 meter. Oh, the scooter. I think I'll get the scooter. Yeah, it's dead. What's happening is he has applied brake and it's undergoing retardation now. We are discussing the uniform retarding motion. Okay, here you will start with a velocity. The velocity terms I'll indicate. We will start with 50 meter per second. It will become 40 meter, 30 meter, 20 meter, and finally you'll be at rest. You'll come to rest. Whatever the distance covered in equal intervals of time, we'll see. What distances you will move. Here you will move a distance of 45 meter. Next 35 meter, 25 meter, 15 meter, 5 meter. And what is the time interval? 1 second only. For the time interval is same. 1 second. Okay, I think this will be very, very important for any student. So what happened to distance covered in equal intervals of time will keep on decrease in retarding motion. So how the retardation will be? What actually happening here? The person has applied brakes. It's slowly applying brakes, uniform retardation. How to produce that retardation? The person driving scooter will apply the brakes and acceleration will decrease. So due to that, it will undergo retardation, or it will decrease the acceleration. The knob which is there, no, earlier I used to say this one, it will rotate in clockwise. So the acceleration decreases, the speed of the scooter decreases. Uniform retardation means decreasing speed. The scooter moves with decreasing speed. Moving with. So this called a retardation. So here in the uniform retardation, the distance covered in equal intervals of time will decrease. In the first second, it will cover 45 meter. Next second, 35. Next second, 25. Next second, 15. Next second, 5 meter. Able to understand this? There's a very firm idea a student must have. There's a basic throughout physics. This is going to help us. This thinking. Okay, let's plot the graphs. Let's uniform retardation graphs here. So what was the equation we have? 50t minus 5t square. The first graph will be 50t minus 5t square. And what about the velocity graph? Will be 50 minus 10t. So first we'll plot the position versus time graph. How the curve will be, so how to plot this curve? So this will be like a parabolic inverted. Okay, this will be parabola. And similarly, the velocity versus time graph. Okay, if this is the 50. Put t equal to 5 seconds. This will be t. This will be VT graph. Velocity versus time. This is a position versus time graph. position, and this is time. Okay, let's go for that equal intervals, because we have to generate that idea. So I'll choose that interval of time. The spacing between vertical lines should be equal. Then we have to see what happened to the spacing between the horizontal lines. You can choose that interval wherever you want. That horizontal line, spacing between horizontal lines, we'll see what difference will get it. Okay, you can see things clearly. Here, this is delta t, delta t, delta t. What about the the displacement? So what we can say, for equal intervals of time, the distance covered decreases for equal intervals of time in exerted motion. What is the first statement we can put it? What the first statement we can write? In exerted motion, let me bring this down. Here, let me scroll down. Yeah, let me write the data here. In accelerated motion, the distance covered decreases in equal intervals of time. So as the body moves, what happens in equal intervals, the distance covered decreases in equal intervals of time. What will happen to average speed? I think we have one more idea. Just now we have discussed no equal and average velocity. So V average 1, what we can write delta S1 by delta T. Delta S1 greater than delta S2 greater than delta S3. Average velocity taken over equal intervals of time will decrease. So in accelerated motion, so I think this is a retarding motion, no, sorry. In retarding motion, in retarding motion, average velocity decreases. Average velocity taken over this is something very fundamental. No, instead of this, I will go for one more graph. What is one more graph? We have to, yeah, let me shift it. Then I'll come to this velocity later on. We have to take equal displacements. So one more. This is the curve. Equal displacements will take it. Oh, okay. This y-axis, we'll see what will happen to. Definitely, it is increasing. So these are equal displacements. Delta S, delta S, delta S, and there's a position. There's a time axis. Intervals of time, we'll see. So in retarding motion, what is one more point we can conclude? In retarding motion, the displacements for equal displacements, the time interval between for the time interval for equal displacements will increase in retarding motion. The time interval for equal displacements increases. So then you're also in retarding motion, what happened for equal change in velocity for equal intervals for equal change in velocity. That's for the uniform retardation. In retarding motion, again, the same idea. In retarding motion, a body produces equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time. Sir, how do you can say? Okay, what is there in that one? Okay, take the two intervals. The horizontal lines will be same if you check it. Provided if you draw the graph properly with scale. So this will be delta V, delta V, delta T, delta T. Body produces equal change in velocity in equal intervals of time. Okay, this is about the uniform retarding motion. I think so much of theoretical information is what we have analyzed. Huh? Okay, last one more. So how the average velocity and the instantaneous velocity are related. So if at all, if you know, we know for an accelerated motion, V equal to U plus CT, we'll write it. Then how you find out average velocity? Average velocity is given by V of dt by integral of dt for any interval of time. There's a basic definition. Average of any quantity you can find out. Okay, this you substitute here. U plus AT. Okay, further we will simplify that. This will become integral of U dt plus A T dt. This is the initial velocity, no? So sorry, this is 0 to T, the limits. So there's a basic definition. If you want to calculate average of any function, there's a thing. So what is actually the basic? The average value of any function It can be time or it can be function of position also, if the function varies with position. Not like only with the time you can calculate. If the function varies with position, okay, then the or a like a change in position or the average value, you can define like this. If the function is if the particular parameter, if it varies with the time, then use this formula to calculate the average over an interval of time. If a parameter, if a quantity varies with position, then how to calculate average or a certain distance code or displacement, then use this particular formula. Not only with the time you can calculate average, for any quantity varies with any other quantity, you can find out the average value. Since the air velocity is varying with the time, so therefore I'm using this particular form. So next calculation of this will be ut plus at square by 2 by t. U plus at by 2. So what is 80? So we know v equal to u plus 80, we took it, no? So in place of 80, can I write v minus u? Very simplified equation. We are going to take help of this in the numericals. If you want to calculate average velocity or or an interval of time, so just take the u plus v by 2. Means what does it mean? So again, is the air moving? Then after some time, it'll be air. Air is having velocity u. Air is having a velocity v. T equals 0. After some time, is having a velocity v. What is the average velocity? I'll ask you. So just you have to do this much. This will be very simple, no? Or else what you should do? Distance covered by time taken. Either of the formula. If you know velocity at at time t, then initial velocity plus over interval of time. This is between any two intervals, for between any interval of time, you can find out. Not only t equals 0, this is applicable. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? I think last one more. I need some space. Let it be here. Let me adjust things. Last one more thing is that let me define that. What is actually, because you may be thinking that only it's applicable for initial velocity. Need not. Let me okay, this is scooter. Oh, what happens? Scooter position. Yeah. Okay, this will be. Well, let me bring one more important conclusion. Okay, the scooter is moving. It is having velocity here v1. We'll say this. Is having velocity v2. Is having velocity v3. This at instant of time, say t equal to 0. So this particular time interval, you will write it. Okay, this will be better idea. This is at t equal to 0. At time t1, time t2. Okay, now how to calculate average velocity for this interval 0 to t1? V average equal to U plus V1 by 2. That's all. So what is this average velocity? For an interval t equal to 0 to t equal to t1. Similarly, I want average velocity for interval t1 to t2. Then just write like this. It's accelerated motion. No? So what is this for an interval? That's all. So, or else what you can do, what is another method? What is another method you can apply here is everything we have to put in this small screen. V average dash like this salute. So you can, another formula is S1 by T1. Either of formulas you can apply, you'll get the same answer. I think this will be much easier of all. Just if you know velocity, know what is the average velocity or in this interval of time, V1 plus U by 2. What is the average velocity in this interval of time, V2 plus V1 by 2. Problem solved. Okay, I think I explained a lot of statistical things. Okay, do digest this, work out, think on all this one. So in next class, we'll work out numericals. Straight away, directly we'll go for numericals. Okay, kids, like I think we had some very good marathon session on the uniform accelerated motion, uniform retarding motion. So today's class, we started with a, what do you mean by acceleration, then average acceleration, then instantaneous acceleration, then uniform accelerated motion, then uniform retarding motion. Then equations of motions, we brought it, then distance curve for nth second. So all these are theoretical ideas. So do revise, think on it, have a clarity, all that one. So again, the numericals again based on these equations, and this theoretical background is what needed for you. Fine. Okay, we'll meet again in the next class. So till then, take care. Bye. See you. Take care, kids. Okay, bye.